Hey guys, today for our reading, we're going to read two different stories. We're going to read about Maricela and we're also going to read about Amir. While we read, I want you to make sure that you are following along on your screen. So on my screen, I'll have a red stoplight that goes as I read. I want you to follow that stoplight with your eyes so you can be reading the words as I'm reading out loud. We're also going to stop and get our gist at certain points of the story. So let's start. Here is our story for Maricela. If you're Mexican, the Cubans and Puerto Ricans hate you because they think you snuck in illegally and they didn't, which they would have if they could have walked. If you're a teenager, the whole world hates you. If you're a pregnant teenager, people think you should be burned at the stake. I'm a Mexican, pregnant, 16-year-old, so shoot me and get it over with. I wouldn't actually care if you did. In a way, I'm already dead. I used to be really, really hot. Because of the baby, I'm as fat as a wrestler. I dropped out. I've been to exactly 0 parties, and I've been asked out exactly 0 times, including by the scum who got me pregnant. My parents were mad. They wanted me to graduate, but abortion or adoption, forget it. Then they got sort of excited about it. They noticed they both love little babies, not me. They started praying for it every night while I was begging for my body to miscarry. 3 of us from my high school got into this program for pregnant teens. They give you rides to the doctor and help with getting your GED at home. Great. Except that Penny, the woman we see, saw the community garden and got the program its own spot to give us practice taking care of something and to let us witness the miracle of life. And to try to keep us from eating our babies alive or dropping them into the dumpsters. It was already the middle of summer, so she had us plant radishes since they grow fast. All 3 of us hate radishes. As soon as the little green leaves came up, a gopher or something wiped them out. So much for the miracle of life. I didn't tell Penny I was hoping the same thing happened to my baby. She's so cheerful, I never could. She's not puking or getting as big as a blimp. No wonder she's always smiling. After the radishes came squash, then Swiss chard, which nobody knew how to eat. I was in my 7th month. I hated the bending. We all complained, but Penny just smiled. The rest of us called working the chain gang. I hated the feel of dirt under my nails. One afternoon, Yolanda broke 2 of her fancy painted expensive nails and cursed out loud for 10 minutes. Penny couldn't shut her up. Then another woman came along and gave us this long lecture about the word decorum. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was my old 3rd grade teacher, Miss Fleck. I prayed she wouldn't recognize me, but naturally she did and asked me all the usual questions. I should have had the answers printed on a card to hand out. The next week, when some man threw a can out his window, which landed about a foot from my head, Miss Fleck figured out what apartment he was in, walked up and yelled at him like he was a kid. She treated the whole world like her classroom. We're gonna stop right there. What I want you to think about right now is, how does Maricela feel about being pregnant? How does she feel? What is going on right now? Click the blue arrow and write down the answer for your gist.